All right. Everybody sees my presentation there? Super. So this is not research that's specifically connected to my PhD research, which, as Max said, as Ari said, sorry, Ari, is related to population policy and environmental policy here in Israel. This was sort of a little bit of a side project, but this is complete as opposed to my PhD research, which is still very much a hot mess in a number of notebooks strewn across my house. So we're going to stay with this. So together with Kate Gallagher, and we both went to the same undergraduate institution. We did this research project, and we came up with a paper that we titled here, "We Can Do Better: Opportunities to Adopt a New Economic Paradigm in the Wake of the COVID-19 Pandemic." And what we were looking at was this question of the work from home mentality, particularly in Israel, but initially, of course, we wanted to see what was going on in the rest of the world, which is that work from home is something that is a privilege. It's something that, generally speaking, more senior managers earn it as a benefit. It's not seen as part of the work-life balance, even if people are doing jobs that are perfectly suitable to do from home. The reality is people want to work from home. There's a lot of a positive research and articles in the news about the benefits, the possible upside of letting your workers work from home more and more. So we said, okay, COVID-19's here. We have this natural experiment, and especially in Israel, we did our research. The survey that we conducted was in April of last year. So right as Israel went to a first very, very, very severe lockdown, everyone went to working from home immediately. And we had an opportunity, particularly because my husband works in high tech. And so I had access to that sort of community to start asking some questions. If before Corona, we had a very large workforce with a very small work from home percent of the population, what happened when all of a sudden everybody's working from home and just a few people are left, the essential workers, working in the office? And what can we learn from this? Because it's fundamentally a spontaneous natural experiment. And there was a call for papers and research on this and a small cash prize that was being offered up. So we said, why not? We'll give it a shot. So we asked a whole assortment of questions, and we launched our survey, which was in English, Hebrew, and Arabic. And we just spread it by word of mouth. We collected nearly 200 responses just through our personal connections, primarily from the high tech sector, which continues to be the sector where people are working from home. And the key thing that we found is that people want a hybrid work schedule. So we looked at people who either had experience working from home prior to the shutdown compared to people who were new to working from home. And across the board, as you can see here, even when we break it out between these two populations, everybody wants to work from home some. There's a strong preference for the 2, 3, or 4 day option to be able to work from home. And we asked people why it was that they wanted to work from home. And so the piece of this that I think is most relevant and interesting here to this group is that there's a potential positive environmental benefit to addressing climate change if we start encouraging work from home. And we've seen that economics is not going to drive action on climate change. We need to be doing other things. And Israel, as many other countries in the world, has signed on to the Paris Climate Accords. We're not meeting our obligations. We're not anywhere close. It's kind of an embarrassment, frankly. And all of a sudden, it looked like maybe we were sort of inching a little bit closer to meeting some of our obligations because we've at least cut down the private commuting time. And that was one of the things that in the questions we asked people, they highlighted that they were very happy to be eliminating their commutes, not just for their financial and time savings and the advantage to their family, the increased time with their family, but also for the environmental benefits that spontaneously came about. So what we're seeing as sort of a gift that fell into our lap is that the employee saves time and money. The employer saves time and money. And Israel, if we're looking at it on a national level, has an opportunity to make a significant dent in our carbon emissions, because a lot of our carbon pollution here, our CO2 pollution, comes from private vehicles, and help us inch closer to meeting our global obligations. So sort of our takeaway was that the myths that previously were around work from home in Israel, which is that if you're not in your office where I can see you, you're not doing your job, is not true. Employees were productive, they were enjoying it. And we've got this amazing side benefit of being able to help the environment by cutting down on the commute time. So that's a quick summary of what we did with our research.